Yeah, yeah. Ball so hard, you better believe me, it's scary. It's basketball at the bar with Calvin and Barry. So put a tip in the jar, cause these dudes can really fill it up. Whether it's buckets you need or just a beer in a cup. We're here for fresh conversations, got some delicious libations. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. My boys got you covered like you being guarded by payers. From the glove to the claw, and everyone else in between. Calvin and Barry got everything that you need. So sit back, relax, because we're starting the show. It's basketball at the bar, grab your drinks and let's go. Yeah. Grab a drink and let's go. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. Calvin and Barry. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. Let's get it.
What up, ballers? Welcome back to the bar and happy Taco Tuesday, everyone. That's right, it is Tuesday, and we got a ton to talk about today on the Hair of the Dog morning show. But first off, if you are an NBA fan, smash up that like button down below and please hit that subscribe button. We put out fresh NBA content almost daily. We're live for our morning show 5 days a week and every single Wednesday night for Wednesday night parties. Thank you everyone for joining in. We got a ton to talk about on today's show. We had 4 awesome games yesterday. We have 5 games today to preview, and then we got a ton of news articles to jump into and some more information on the Jordan Poole and Draymond Green situation. Let's go ahead here and get started, everybody. All right, so just looking here, a couple things in the news. First off, the Spurs pick up 2023-2024 options for Devin Vassell and Joshua Primo. I think these were pretty much guaranteed things. The Spurs are not competing for anything this season. They're just developing young talent, trying to figure out what the next move for them is. And obviously holding on to first-round draft picks is definitely something they need to do. So no-brainer for them. The 76ers signed Patrick McCaw after waiving Mac McClung. Both of these guys had been waived previously by the Golden State Warriors. Interesting, the Sixers must see something in Patrick McCaw, maybe like the championship pedigree that he has, the shooting potential, but definitely an interesting pickup for the Sixers. They played yesterday. We'll talk about that game here in a second. All right, the Hawks exercising options on Okongwu and Jalen Johnson, similar to the Spurs situation. However, the Hawks are competing this year. It's just, a pretty standard move to retain some of your draft picks. Celtics waive Luka, sign AJ Reeves, and the Spurs sign Shondi Brown. Let's see, anything else here in the news? We see about Paulo Banchero saying his idols or his favorite players were LeBron and Carmelo Anthony. I agree with him on that for sure. Definitely some people that I really enjoyed watching. I loved Carmelo Anthony when he was with the Nuggets, when he was with the Knicks. An amazing scorer. And then obviously LeBron James is LeBron James, right? All right, this came out this morning by Clutch Points. Jordan Poole allegedly hasn't forgiven Draymond Green. Interesting situation. I don't know if I would forgive Draymond at this point. We know Draymond is currently away from the team, letting the team heal, and the team is trying to decide what the discipline will be, and it will be internal. So I'm not sure if we'll even find out what that really is. Maybe Draymond Green's got to, bring Jordan Poole donuts every day at practice. Maybe he's got to do his laundry. It doesn't look like we're looking towards a suspension or even a fine for that matter. So we'll definitely see what happens. All right, there was a guest. Cyrus was on the Locked On Warriors podcast. And here's a quote from him. I've had sources tell me that behind the scenes, Jordan Poole has not forgiven Draymond. They haven't spoken. He's not happy. I don't know how you could be. It's a horrible look. The image of it is awful. It's borderline emasculating. I couldn't agree more. Straight up, that's what it is, right? You got punched. You got bullied basically on camera. The video got released to people, all over the world. It's got to be embarrassing for your family. It's got to be embarrassing in front of your teammates. But most importantly, you're looking at all these comments online, the memes, all this stuff. It's absolutely ridiculous. We heard Bob Myers talk about it a few days ago, and he basically said Draymond apologized to the team and Jordan Poole was in the room, which is kind of a weird way to put it, right? It wasn't he apologized to the team, he took Jordan Poole aside and apologized to him. Like, that's honestly what needs to happen in this situation, right? Draymond Green needs to hash it out with Jordan Poole. And, one thing about Draymond Green, I do say a lot of negative things about him, but he has been an incredible NBA player, and I think he's been a good leader for this Warriors team. But I think one thing, that's really, really hard for Draymond, and, I don't say this in a negative way, but humility, right? The fact that you messed up and that you're not in control of this situation at this point. Jordan Poole is in control of the situation because he's the one that you need to make amends with. I don't think Draymond likes that. He feels like maybe Jordan has got some leverage over him at this point. And honestly, he does, right? Because Draymond is the one, in my opinion, that messed up here. And he really needs to get Jordan Poole to forgive him before the rest of his teammates and anybody else can. It's an interesting situation. We'll definitely, keep our eyes on it. Multiple people are chiming in on this. Patrick Beverly, who has, been very out there this offseason, right? He's been all over ESPN. He just recently joined the LA Lakers. But an interesting take here from Patrick Beverly, one of the guys that's been known for being abrasive, who's known for being aggressive. A lot of people have mixed feelings on Patrick Beverly, but he straight up takes Jordan Poole's side here, and he says, that's a line you don't cross. Draymond crossed it. You do not strike your teammates. Interesting, man. Patrick Beverly is the voice of reason at this moment. Not something I would have expected on my bingo card, that is for sure. All right, the big news story of the day, or whatever you want to call it, Draymond Green's mom reacts to this situation. This is leaked by TMZ. Apparently, she's defending Draymond, which, I mean, what else would you expect, right? Here's a still of Draymond Green in the punch, right, to Jordan Poole. But according to Draymond's mom, she says, got shoved and reacted. End of story. Wow. That's crazy, right? She goes on to say that it wasn't a sucker punch. Dre didn't aggressively go to Poole. His hands were down, man to man. You go over to talk, to ask what's up and what you say, and he was shoved and he reacted to the shove. Wow, it's an interesting take. I don't agree with Draymond's mom here. I mean, honestly, kudos to her, right? She supported her child for a really long time. It's obviously worked out well for her and for Draymond, as he's had an amazing NBA career. But there are some times where, like I said, humility, right? You have to kind of look, on the other side of the coin, maybe not from your perspective. Look at how this is impacting your team, how this is impacting Jordan Poole and other people involved as well. So obviously she's taking Draymond's side here. I disagree with this. I think in the video, Draymond was definitely heading over there with bad intentions. And Jordan Poole shoved him to get him out of his face because Draymond was all in his grill. So, in my opinion, I think Draymond Green's mom missed the cut here. But hey, sticking up for your kid, can't be mad about that. All right, I've been seeing all sorts of Draymond Green trade ideas over the past week. Whether the Warriors should trade Draymond Green or hold on to him. I want to hear from you guys in the chat or in the comments below what you think. Also give a shout out to Matthew here. Maybe the Warriors could get 53 draft picks for Draymond. I know that's an inside joke. Hopefully you love that, Matthew. But hey, let's take a look at 3 different trade ideas and see whether these would work out for the Warriors or not, and what they can do to kind of salvage this situation. First off is a trade with the LA Lakers. This is Russell Westbrook and 2 first-round picks, the 2027 and 2029, that the Lakers have basically been trying to pawn off on the league. It's a 3-way trade, so the Warriors receive Miles Turner, and then the Lakers receive Draymond Green and Buddy Hield. Pacers are getting Westbrook and those 2 first-round picks. This is an interesting deal, right? Because Miles Turner could be a young version of Draymond Green. I think he shoots the 3 ball a little bit better. Obviously not as good of an on-ball defender, but he's a great rim protector. He's younger. He makes less money. This is an interesting trade for the Warriors. Obviously, I think the Lakers absolutely, hit it out of the park with this deal, right? Getting Draymond Green and Buddy Hield, more shooting for their squad. This could lead to an LA Lakers championship this year. So if I was Golden State, this doesn't really hurt the team. I mean, if you're ready to move on from Draymond at the end of the season, I think this is actually a good deal for the Warriors. But I don't know if they would like to see Draymond Green with the LA Lakers and help facilitate a trade to also bring the Lakers more shooting and make them a title contender. So if I were the Warriors, I would probably decline it just based on that. And I'd probably try and work out a 3-way deal with Indiana and Detroit, or possibly just a deal with Indiana if at all possible. There's 2 other trades here in this article. Let's go ahead and dive in here. I hate how these pages just make you click over and over. They show too many ads. It's a pain in the ass. All right, next up is the Atlanta Hawks. This is John Collins for Draymond Green, a 2026 first-round pick that's top 10 protected from the Golden State Warriors. This is a simpler deal, as it states here. This one's pretty interesting, right? Because if I'm the Atlanta Hawks, I really got to look at myself in the mirror and say, how long do you think Draymond Green can really, maintain what he's doing, right? He's played exceptionally well over the past 10 seasons. He's won, 4 championships already, and he's done well around shooters. Well, if you're the Atlanta Hawks, you basically have the new Steph Curry in Trae Young. You added some shooting this offseason. You added another playmaker in DeJounte Murray. So this could actually end up being a good deal for the Atlanta Hawks. I do like John Collins as well. He is a much different player than Draymond Green. Obviously doesn't bring the defensive versatility that Draymond Green brings, but he has a little bit more well-rounded offensive game, can work inside in the post, and can shoot the ball a little bit as well. This is an interesting trade, but like I said, if you're the Warriors and you're looking at any of these situations, I think you really have to make your mind up yourself on whether you want to retain Draymond or not. If you decide that you need to move on, you're obviously trying to get the best deal available. So there's some options here. The third deal is the Dallas Mavericks. Warriors received Tim Hardaway Jr. and Dorian Finney-Smith for Draymond Green. In my opinion, this is the least likely deal to happen. I think this would be a wonderful move if I'm the Dallas Mavericks, right? You just brought in Christian Wood. Obviously, Luka Doncic is Luka. We think he could potentially win or at least be in the running for MVP this year. So you had a third guy in Draymond Green. This really, really helps your team, and you're not giving up, some of the pieces you just recently brought in. Tim Hardaway Jr. missed all last season due to an injury. I do like Dorian Finney-Smith a lot, but in my opinion, for the Golden State Warriors, this is not enough. So I'd probably pass on this and be interested in one of those other 2 deals. If you guys have an interesting Draymond Green offer, let me know in the chat or down below in the comments. I'd be happy to dive in. We could fire up the NBA trade machine and see, what it looks like. All right, let's talk about some more trades. This was one posted today saying the Rockets would be interested in trading for Miles Turner. I have no idea why the Rockets would want Miles Turner at this point. They just gave up Christian Wood, who I absolutely loved. I don't know why they would give up him, but if you're getting Miles Turner, which maybe he does fit your team, and you're giving up Eric Gordon in a 2023 first-round Milwaukee pick, that's not a lot for the Indiana Pacers. I think they could probably get more. I'm looking at the LA Lakers. The Westbrook trade with 2 first-round picks, I think, would be more. But Houston, why give up this pick if you could just wait to the end of the season? You got a ton of cap space. You could offer Miles Turner a deal at the end of the year. I think Miles Turner might even be restricted. So I do not see this deal working out. I'm not sure why the Rockets would want to do this unless they just thought that Christian Wood was not that guy and maybe Miles Turner is. I'm high on Miles Turner. I think he could help this Rockets team, but I need to get a little bit more clarity from Houston on, what they're doing, right? Houston, we have a problem. We're not winning any basketball games. We're trying to develop young talent, but we're trading young talent at the same time. A weird situation going on in Houston. They need to pick a path and go for it. All right, next up, this is an article from silverscreenandroll.com. It says, Darvin Ham says Anthony Davis starting at center is under heavy consideration. This is an interesting move, right? We know the Lakers won the title back in 2020 with Anthony Davis playing the power forward. They had Dwight Howard as their starting center on that squad. And we know Anthony Davis has been reluctant to play center in the past. He's been known as Mr. Glass for the past few seasons and dealt with a ton of injuries. So it's yet to be seen how long he could really, work at the center position and whether his body can hold up to the more bruising and banging down inside. I think he likes playing the power forward because he has a little bit more of an advantage over some of these guys. He can bring them out to the 3-point line. He didn't shoot well last year, which he blamed on a wrist injury, but we know Anthony Davis is a capable shooter. He can stretch the floor a little bit. And I think he just likes taking advantage. at that 4 position and probably not standing under the rim and getting dunked on defense, right? He likes to be kind of the help man coming from the backside to get some blocks. So this is an interesting move. We've seen, kind of 2 different schools of thought develop over the last few seasons, right? We've seen teams go extremely big, like the Utah Jazz and now the Minnesota Timberwolves. We see the Cleveland Cavaliers go big as well. And then we've seen teams like the Houston Rockets of the past and a lot of these other teams, the Golden State Warriors, the Miami Heat, kind of go small. So if the Lakers decide that they're better off playing small this season and Anthony Davis needs to fit in at that 5 position, if he can remain healthy, honestly, you just got to do whatever you can to help your team win. The Lakers have not done a lot of winning in the last year or so. So this is an interesting situation. I'm definitely monitoring what's happening with the LA Lakers, what's going on with the Russell Westbrook situation, and if Anthony Davis can remain healthy. But this would be interesting. I think it could work with him at the center. But it all depends on what the rest of your lineup is looking at. And I keep saying it, you need more shooting on the floor. So maybe Anthony Davis playing the 5 allows them to play some more of these shooters instead of having a big man that just stands inside, and you really rely on Anthony Davis to shoot the 3 ball exceptionally well to help space the floor for guys like Westbrook. All right, this is kind of a somber note here. I really enjoyed watching Ben Gordon, especially on the Chicago Bulls. It was very, very fun to watch. The pairing of him and Derrick Rose was really exciting. But former NBA player Ben Gordon arrested for striking 10-year-old son at the LGA airport. This is quite unfortunate. He was taken to jail. The son or the child left with a family member. Ben Gordon's been going through some things over the past few years. An assault charge, I believe, like in a burglary case. Really, really unfortunate. We'll see what happens here. But, man, just a really, really bad situation for Ben Gordon. Really, really sad. All right, now some funny news. Ben Simmons airballs a mid-range jumper during Nets public practice. I woke up to all sorts of text messages this morning of videos of this. Apparently being a Kings fan and talking about Ben Simmons over the past few seasons, I've developed quite a few Ben Simmons haters that love to text me. So let's take a look at this video, and I want to hear your thoughts here. I didn't even see Ben Simmons the first time I watched it. Oh, man. Hold on. I got to turn this volume down a little bit. It looks like it goes wrong off his fingertips, but look at that ball, man. Just left. Look at that. Oh, that's an NBA player, man. That's an NBA player making millions of dollars. A guy on a max contract. Look at that. And you got Kyrie there. Look at this. Airball. Man, that's not even a 3-pointer, dude. I gotta show this one more time. That's mid-range, dude. That's right by the elbow. Look at that. Missed it. Man, poor Ben Simmons. Somebody's got to get this guy a shooting coach. I don't know what the hell is going on with Ben Simmons. We've seen guys like Victor Wembanyama absolutely stroking it from the 3-point range, and the dude's like 7'5" or something. Ben Simmons just can't catch a break here. The dude really needs to pick up a jump shot, man. They're not going to stop making fun of you until you can do it. And, a lot of people hate on LeBron James, especially early on in his career when he was not a great 3-point shooter. He worked on it, and now he's stroking them from 3. So, Ben Simmons, you can make it happen, but it's up to you, buddy. It really is. All right, let's take a look at the games. So we had 4 games yesterday. The Washington Wizards take on the Charlotte Hornets. This was in Charlotte. Wizards score 116 in this game, 20 points for Kristaps Porzingis. We saw Bradley Beal still out due to the COVID protocol, so was not available in this game. Scary Terry Rozier lit it up for the Charlotte Hornets, 24 points. Charlotte loses this game, 116-107. Charlotte's playing a little bit better defense. Not really what you want to see out of them. Of course, losing Miles Bridges this offseason was absolutely devastating for that team. And we haven't seen, LaMelo Ball play exceptionally well yet in the preseason. So we're waiting on him. But, hey, they didn't allow 130-plus points in this game. So I'd call this a win if I was Charlotte. Second game of the day, and this game was on NBA TV. I was able to watch this full game, and it was a lot of fun to watch. We got to see the Sixers take on the new look Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland. Philadelphia wins 113-97. This game was a lot closer than that, during the game. Tyrese Maxey scores 19 points in this game. We got to see James Harden play a little bit, some Toby Harris. Joel Embiid was not available. Actually didn't even travel with the team to Cleveland. Not an injury designation for him. It was apparently part of his training routine. So he did not play in this game. And we got to see Philadelphia go a little bit smaller with PJ Tucker out there. Kind of an interesting choice. We've talked about Cleveland getting bigger, playing big. Well, Philadelphia decided to play small. I don't know if this had anything to do with the fact that Joel Embiid missed this game, or they just kind of wanted to try some new rotations to see what works against some of these bigger teams. But they win this game, like I said, 113-97. We can take a look here at the box score real quick, because this game was really a lot of fun to watch. As I mentioned, PJ Tucker, 21 minutes. He did start at the center position. You had Toby Harris, Tyrese Maxey, DeAnthony Melton, and James Harden was the official starting lineup for this squad. And then we got to see, a little bit of bench production. Daniel House Jr., also an ex-Rocket with James Harden, joined the team this offseason. And Shake Milton putting in some work as well. 5 of 8 from the field, 10 points for him. But I'm really looking at this Cleveland team because, they're getting healthy. They're getting out there. I love what this team has done. I like Jared Allen a lot. Obviously, Evan Mobley is still out dealing with that injury, so he did not play in this game. But Jared Allen, 19 points and 12 rebounds in 34 minutes. Good game for him. Obviously, the dude can get some blocks as well. 2 personal fouls in 34 minutes. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on that this season. Over the past couple days, we've seen multiple guys foul out in these preseason games. I think that just goes to show how many people aren't really in shape yet and ready for the NBA season to start. If you're a big man, especially a shot blocker, you definitely got to stay out of foul trouble. So Jared Allen, only 2 fouls in this game, is definitely a bright side for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Karis LeVert, 13 points for him in this game. Darius Garland, 17 points and 7 assists. And then our new guy, new acquisition, Donovan Mitchell, 11 points. Obviously not what Cleveland fans want to see out of him, but he's kind of working his way back into the rotation. He's trying to figure it out where he fits on this team. But I really have high hopes for this Cleveland roster this season. I think they're going to be a good team. Not a title contender, at least not yet, but they definitely have a lot of potential, that's for sure. Third game of the day. Miami wins 118-110 over the Houston Rockets. Max Struss plays in this game. Shoots incredibly well, 24 points for him. And Jalen Green, 25 points for the Houston Rockets. I mentioned no Christian Wood for the Rockets as they traded him to the Dallas Mavericks this offseason. This Rockets team, I'm going to say it again. I'm trying to figure out what they're doing, right? They're adding young talent. They got Jalen Green. They picked up Kevin Porter Jr. amazingly for like nothing after Cleveland cut him. So I really like some of the young talent on this team. Paulo played well in this game. But what are they doing, right? When are they going to start competing? When are they going to kind of finish this rebuild? Or is this kind of going to be a long-winded rebuild? Let's keep an eye on Houston. But Miami's doing Miami things. They win another game. I'm really high on them. Not a lot of the starters played in this game. We'll see what happens with Tyler Hero. He just signed that huge contract extension. I'm curious on whether he will be a starter this year for the Miami Heat. But I'm big on this team, that's for sure. The final game of the day, we see the Phoenix Suns lose to the Denver Nuggets 107-105. Phoenix, unfortunately, keeps taking L's this offseason after losing a very weird head-scratching Game 7 last year in the playoffs. They definitely have underperformed, and I think they've underperformed here in the preseason, also dealing with drama surrounding their owner and the team potentially being for sale. But, Mikal Bridges played okay in this game, 14 points for him, shot the ball well, 50% from the field, 3 of 5 from three-point range, which is 60%. DeAndre Ayton, he's back in it, dude, 19 points, 11 rebounds after getting the bag this offseason. And Chris Paul, only 6 points, but 8 assists kind of the same for Chris Paul, right? He only takes over when he really needs to. And, it is the preseason, so I don't expect a lot of these older veterans like Chris Paul to, I guess, quote unquote, shine, right? They know what they can do, and they're waiting for big games and big moments to do it. Devin Booker, 20 points in this game, 5 of 17 from the field, looking like a volume shooter. Got to see a little bit more from him. All right, let's take a look here at the Denver Nuggets. Not a lot of starters out there, right? We missed Nurkic. He's currently out. No Jamal Murray in this game. But we got to see DeAndre Jordan start at the center position. 7 points, 10 rebounds. I'm interested on this fit for the Nuggets, right? They brought in DeMarcus Cousins last year, who currently is still a free agent and is wanting to be signed by a team. We know the connections he's got with Michael Malone, the head coach, was his former head coach in Sacramento and someone he absolutely adored. But I'm interested in this DeAndre Jordan acquisition and what he brings to this team. I think, a lot of people, they bash Nurkic for his, Jokic. I keep saying Nurkic. Jokic, the Joker. They keep bashing him for kind of his lack of defensive ability, but he's gotten much better over the past few years, becoming a rim protector, a shot blocker. Not that you're going to get a lot from him because he does, kind of focus on the offensive end of the floor, and it takes a lot of energy for him because he is very, very a big focal point of that offense. But I like the addition of DeAndre Jordan. It gives them kind of a little bit different look at the center position. I'm interested to see how that works out this year for sure. It definitely helped them in this game. And then Michael Porter Jr., 9 points, shot horribly in this game, 2 of 11 from the field. He is definitely getting healthy or trying to get healthy from that back injury that had him miss most of last season. But this Nuggets team is definitely a team to look out for this year. They brought in Aaron Gordon. They got the Joker, who just won another MVP award. Jamal Murray is coming back healthy, and then Michael Porter Jr. as well. So I'm looking for the Nuggets in potentially the Western Conference Finals. We will see what they can do. All right, page not found. That wraps up all of yesterday's games. Let's talk about what's on the schedule today. We have 5 different games. 2 of them will be on NBA TV. The other 3 can be watched on League Pass. If you have not signed up for League Pass, you can do it now. You can pay monthly. You can pay for the whole season. It's really cool what they're doing, kind of allowing more different options for people and more people to watch games. But you got the Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the Detroit Pistons in this game. Not a really exciting game, right? If you're looking for, wins and what one of these teams is going to do this season. But there is a lot of young talent, right, on these teams. So if you're looking towards the next couple seasons, you want to see some exciting young players play, this might be the game for you. It's just unfortunate for Oklahoma City. I know SGA has been out, and obviously their first-round draft pick and Chet Holmgren has been out as well. So there still are some young, exciting players to watch on Oklahoma City, but obviously their young star players are not there. Second game of the day, and this is the one on NBA TV. You have the Memphis Grizzlies taking on the Orlando Magic and number 1 overall pick, Paolo Banchero. This is definitely going to be a fun game to watch. Memphis was an exciting team last season until the Ja Morant injury, and many people would say that they were still exciting afterwards, right? But a lot of people have high hopes for them this year. And then the Orlando Magic, what are they doing, right? They just drafted the number 1 overall pick. Hopefully, Jonathan Isaac can return and a bunch of these other young, talented players. They just need to figure out a way to put it together. I think this could be the season where maybe they start to gain some momentum and they say, okay, maybe our rebuild is over and it's time to start building around these young players and working towards the future. So I'm high on Orlando, but like I said, they're not a playoff contender this year, in my opinion, but I think they'll be a great team in the next couple seasons. Third game of the day, we have the Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Chicago Bulls. Milwaukee just got back from Abu Dhabi. We did not see Chris Middleton or Giannis play in the previous game. Maybe they'll be available in this game today. And as I mentioned before, Lonzo Ball is still out due to that knee injury. Really tough situation for Chicago, but some exciting guys to watch for them. Patrick Williams has been a lot of fun to watch this past week. And also DeMar DeRozan, when he shoots it, it goes in. So I'm definitely going to be tuning into that game It's potentially a playoff matchup we can see, depending on how well Chicago does. I know they were number 1 in the East last year for a brief minute. I think Milwaukee will definitely be towards the top of the standings. So if Chicago, ends up being maybe that 6 or 7 seed in the playoffs, this could be a first round matchup between these two. Third game of the day, and this is probably the worst game of the day. This is the Spurs against the Jazz in Utah. This is a crap fest. I'm definitely not watching this game. I will be watching highlights afterwards. Both of these teams are basically in free fall here. If you're a Spurs fan or a Utah Jazz fan, good luck to you, man. Good luck. You're going to have a few years here of, some disappointment and a lot of losses. But one of these teams could win the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes, and if that does happen, a lot of people will be tuning in to watch them next season. But as far as this year, both of these teams are racing to the bottom of the standings. I'm not going to be watching many Spurs or Jazz games this year. Just going to throw that out there. All right, the last game of the day, we have the Portland Trail Blazers taking on the Golden State Warriors. This is in Golden State. Portland's been a lot of fun to watch this preseason, right? We've seen the way that Anthony Simons kind of blends in with Dame Lillard. We saw the addition of Jeremy Grant. Shaedon Sharpe had a couple impressive games. I know he had one really amazing block in his first game. I believe he had 27 off the bench. What was that in game 3? Didn't play too well in the last game. But Portland's exciting. They're a team I'm definitely keeping an eye on as a Kings fan, because I think we're going to be jockeying with position in the standings with them. And then obviously Golden State, the champions, and they got all this Draymond Green drama going on right now. So we'll see if we hear more about that during the game. I'm sure everyone's going to give their opinion. I have no idea when Draymond Green will be returning to the team, but we'll probably see Jordan Poole play in this game. He'll probably shoot exceptionally well, and they'll probably be talking about Draymond Green the whole time. So definitely a game to watch. Portland, still question marks about where they will be in the standings this year. Like I said, they're going to be jockeying with potentially the Lakers and the Sacramento Kings to get one of those play-in spots. But hey, maybe they surprise people and they shoot up to, the 6th seed or something like that. And obviously Golden State, as much as Golden State haters love to say the Draymond Green situation is hurting their hopes at winning a title this year, they're still going to be a really, really good basketball team and definitely a tough out in the playoffs. So keep your eyes on them. All right, I think that pretty much wraps up today's news and the games going on. I hope you guys are having an awesome Tuesday. Make sure you eat some tacos today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also, tomorrow's show will be on 1 hour earlier. I do have an appointment at 10, so I will be on at 9 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time, which is noon Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to go over all the games that happened tonight. And guess what? We have a ton of games tomorrow, 8 games on the schedule, including a couple fun ones on ESPN, including the Lakers over the Timberwolves and the Bucks and the Nets. So make sure you tune in tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time, for another Hair of the Dog morning show. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a wonderful Tuesday.